We may as well start today's Tinfoil Tuesday with an old classic, and that's A Call for an Uprising. A Call for an Uprising, who surprisingly is not an adherent of QAnon, despite the fact that he believes everything that QAnon people believe. It's very funny. He also believes that the world is controlled by a cabal of Satanists and pedophiles, and that vaccinations are being used to track people, none of which are true. But he doesn't believe QAnon. He thinks QAnon is a psyop. So, you ever get so conspiratorial that you even think QAnon is a conspiracy against your conspiracy? That's a call for an uprising. So let's take a look. This video is entitled, Must Share, Something Big is Going On at the Super Bowl.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. As you know, the Super Bowl is around the corner. And why is it important to know that? Because it is the most viewed / watched event in America every single year. Last year, 99.9 million people. Yes, 666.
Call for an uprising. 9 and 6 are different numbers. I know that's confusing for you because they're both loop-de-loops, but they're actually different numbers. Fun fact. I know they look alike and just flipped upside down, but they're not the same number. Also, numerology on the bingo card if you have it.
I'm sure that's a coincidence, by the way. Apparently watched the Super Bowl peaking at 102 million. That's a lot of people. So why is the Super Bowl important? Because the Super Bowl is the time that they use the commercials, and people are, oh, I can't wait for the new commercials to
Have people given a shit about Super Bowl commercials since, like, 2014? I don't know. I just feel like people don't care as much as they used to unless they're, like, boomers. I can't remember a Super Bowl commercial from the last, like, 6 or 7 Super Bowls. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't watch sports anyway, but I did used to watch the commercials, but I don't anymore because it's a pointless waste of time and they're ads.
Program the masses. Every year, these commercials are pushing whatever agenda is being shoved down the American people's throat. This year, well, I'll show you in a minute what's going to be pushed. You won't be surprised, but you're going to be nauseous. Before I get into that, there's one other thing I want to mention because I will be talking about the old 1-9er a little bit here in a minute, but I have a video up on my website that I will not be able to upload here. And you're not going to believe who they're targeting next to get the old jabberoo. So make sure you sign.
Probably everyone, because everyone is susceptible to the coronavirus, although old people are in a high-risk group, but anyone could catch it and transmit it to people. So the ideal would be to get everyone vaccinated when we can, starting at high-risk groups and trickling down from there.
Sign up for the website, $2.99 a month. It is worth it. The forum is exploding. There's so many people just posting great information and sharing stuff there, people sharing their own channels. So you're finding new YouTube channels to watch and follow, so I love that. And sharing information that people have that even someone like myself doesn't know, because I don't know everything. So it's a great place to learn, interact, fellowship, talk about the Lord, talk about Scripture, just find people who are like-minded, because we're all going through this together. So check out the website if you haven't. Now, on to the Super Bowl. Everybody knows the Super Bowl is notorious for the Budweiser commercials, amongst many other major companies that push these commercials. Well, Budweiser's decided that they're not going to be doing a Super Bowl commercial this year. Not because they can't afford it. Well, see for yourself.
The thing about America is we can do anything.
Lean on me when you're not strong.
We can turn rooftops
Maybe it's because I've been using exclusively streaming services for the past, 5 years. I haven't had cable in, 5 years. I never get ads. I have ad blocker. But boy, do advertisements, even about things I agree with, because I think this ad is about, hey, you should get vaccinated when you get a shot, or you should, take precautions and wear a mask and stuff. I agree with that sentiment, but, ads are so manipulative and just gross. Oh, we're gonna have people in a city. It's so cynical. I just see through the cynicism, and I'm like, oh, I see an ad exec in an office somewhere going, yeah, and then we'll have them on a fire escape and they'll sing Lean on Me, and then other people in the building will also start, you know what I mean? It's just ass. It's just ass. That's all it is. I hate it.
To mountaintops.
I'll help you carry on.
We can turn boundaries into common ground. We can turn solitude into closeness. And screen time into playtime. Silent stadiums, let them hear the roar of history being written.
Historic 2020 NBA championship.
We turn waiting and waiting and waiting into dancing and whatever that is.
Fuck you. Lobby the government to give people money. People are losing their homes. I don't care if these people are dancing in a Walmart.
And together, let's turn our strength into hope.
He blurred out the COVID vaccine. Right, but that's still an ad? Do you see how there's a Budweiser logo here? That's still an ad for Budweiser. I get it. I hate capitalism. I hate advertising. I hate this shit too. But the underlying message of get a vaccine, that's fine. You should get a vaccine, call for an uprising. You won't, because you're an idiot, but you should.
And look, I'm just showing you what's in the news here, folks. This is big news, right? 100 million people. Budweiser's going to, instead of promoting their product to get more people to buy their beer, instead they want to give away the airtime so that they can tell you and make you aware about the jabberoo, right? Get everyone aware, because no one's aware of it, right? Oh, so what they want to do, what they will do throughout the entire Super Bowl, obviously the halftime show I'll end up covering because you know it's going to be filled with symbolism, but during the entire Super Bowl, the commercials are going...
Who's in this halftime show this year? Hold on. Super Bowl halftime. Yeah, who's doing it? The Weeknd? List of Super Bowl halftime performers: The Weeknd, Jennifer Lopez and Shakira, Maroon 5, Travis Scott, Big Boy, Justin Or no, these are old ones.
Superlative time.
It's just
Chris,
this year it's The Weeknd, and then they typically have other people. Like, come on. So The Weeknd. I can't wait for a call for an uprising to frame by frame go through The Weeknd's performance until at some point his hand does some sort of motion that he decides is satanic secretly. Like he'll hold his hand like, I don't know, like this or like that or like this. Who knows? Whatever he thinks Satanism is.
Going to be filled with togetherness, unity, one. Oh, it's been a rough year in America, but we need to unite together. Remember these commercials that they were playing?
Advertising is pandering and obnoxious. We've established this call for an uprising. I would agree with you.
When we first opened our doors...
Since 1926.
Since 1978.
For 60 years.
For 75 years.
For over 80 years.
In 90 years.
For over 100 years.
Nationwide has been on your side.
Restaurants have always been there for you.
Nissan has been with you through thick and thin.
We will do what we've always done.
I love this supercut, honestly. This is hilarious.
People.
And family.
Family.
Families are families.
Even now.
If Call for an Uprising actually put this supercut together, it's the only worthwhile piece of video he's ever edited together. This is beautiful.
Especially now.
Especially now.
Right now.
Now more than ever.
More than ever.
Today, more than ever.
Today, more than ever.
In times like this.
At times like these.
During these difficult times.
In these troubled times.
Challenging times.
Trying times.
In these times of uncertainty.
We know you're homeless, but still buy our shit, please.
During this time of great uncertainty.
During these uncertain times.
During these uncertain times.
In uncertain times.
In uncertain times. Uncertain times.
Unprecedented times.
Unprecedented times.
Unprecedented times.
This unprecedented moment in our history.
It's time of social distancing.
While things have slowed down. As we turn more inside.
While the doors may be closed.
While the distance between us has gotten bigger.
The more we stay
It's like an AI algorithm wrote all these commercials.
apart.
We still find ways to stay close, even when we're apart.
Even if we can't stand closer than 6 feet.
We can all stay connected to work, school, and most importantly, to each other.
There's still ways to touch each other.
All without leaving the comfort and safety of your home.
Without leaving the safety of your home.
From home.
Your home.
At home. 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 Home.
Home. That's the key.
Buick and GMC.
God, there's still like a minute left of
Con
this
Edison is here to
supercut.
help. Here to help.
Our teams are here.
We are here.
We're here.
We're here.
Here for you.
Here for you.
We're here for you.
We're here for you.
We are here for you.
We're here for you.
We are here for you. We'll be here for you.
Runnings is here for you.
We're still here for you.
We're with you. We're part of your community.
So you can trust us.
You can count on us.
And we'll get through this. Together.
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 We're together.
Together.
And together.
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 Original of this.
Together.
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 Okay. We're gonna applaud for you, but we're also gonna go out to restaurants and stuff and make your life a living hell, so fuck you, I guess.
MasterCard.
You can expect that over and over and over again. And they're not the only company that's backing out. Pepsi, since when does Pepsi and Coca-Cola, right? Remember Pepsi's commercial with one of the Jenners, Kardashians, whatever they are, and the, stopping the
oh God, I forgot about the Pepsi ad. I'm gonna solve social upheaval with a Pepsi. I missed that meme.
protests and all that. Oh my God, one of the worst commercials ever made. They had to pull it. It was so bad. You are going to see these companies give up the airtime. So every commercial break, you're going to be hit with something telling you why it's safe and why you need it and how we can all get through it, and don't listen to misinformation. So I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. I'm telling you what you're going to see, because this is the reason that the Super Bowl is so important to the elites. Not because they care about the pigskin, not because the GOAT, once again, Tom Brady, and by GOAT I mean the Baphomet. You remember that video I did with him and the
What? Hold on. Tom Brady GOAT? Oh. Okay, is Tom Brady called GOAT because greatest of all time, and did that get turned into like a beer can as a joke? I mean, that's kind of funny, and he thinks GOAT, therefore, is satanic Baphomet, even though Baphomet is different than Satan. Okay. Trying to connect the conspiracy bullshit dots, it gets difficult. I gotta get my beautiful mind red string out.
the Baphomet beer cans and everything like that, making the term GOAT, normalizing it. I mean, it's unbelievable, but not because of Tom Brady and the ball getting thrown around. Because
what happened to my Baphomet? It's back there. It's back on the shelf. I don't feel like getting it right now, but I still have the statue.
They know this is the number one time of the year where the most eyeballs are watching their,
you can see it.
their
It's like right
propaganda
here. It's above
box
the Coke Zeros
that they
and
can
stuff.
influence and persuade people. And that's what they do. That's what commercials do. I mean, people who don't even believe in conspiracy are so dumb that they don't even think the commercials are there to persuade you to buy a product. Well,
what? Everyone knows commercials are there to persuade you to buy a product. That's the whole point of advertising, is to manipulate you to buying a product. Is Call for an Uprising so unaware of how normal people think that he thinks people don't understand what ads are?
doesn't it say something when these companies who are supposed to be trying to make money are trying to persuade everybody to get jabbed? I don't know.
I mean, for one thing, it would help their businesses if people did get the vaccine, because then the economy could open safely. So sure, that does make sense, but also they're using the general sentiment of, we're going to come together for COVID as an ad. It's still an ad for their company. I'm sure their logo still shows up at the end of whatever the message is.
Seems a little suspicious to old me, but what do I know, right? I'm just the crazy guy. So,
yeah.
You're going to see a lot of that. And again, you're going to see the unity and the togetherness nonsense over and over and over. Because remember, the Antichrist comes in the name of love and unity. And they're going to push this as, we can all defeat this big bad outbreak if we all do the right thing and we all get the jabberoo. That's what they're going to, that's exactly what the message is going to be. We can all do this together. We can be a team. You'll hear a lot of that too. We can all be a team working as one to defeat this by doing the right thing. You're going to see.
Yeah, that's how basically everything worthwhile has ever been done in history has worked, by people working together. We didn't wipe out polio by not giving a shit and not taking the vaccine.
Commercials on distancing, on mask wear. So that is obviously what they are going full throttle with. And if 100 million people watched the Super Bowl last year, I'm sure more people will be watching it this year. More people are just sitting around.
I don't know about that.
A lot of people are unemployed. A lot of people
knows?
aren't going to work. They're working virtually. So I will guarantee you. And then with the teams playing with Tom Brady and
Super Bowl typically happens on a Sunday anyway.
And again, it's a big draw for just casual sports fans, or just to give people something to do, even though I'm sure they'll tell you don't go to Super Bowl parties or anything like that.
Yeah, you shouldn't go to a Super Bowl party. You shouldn't go to any gathering of a bunch of people right now. There's a global pandemic.
People will be tuning in, and they're going to take advantage of that number of eyeballs on the screen. So be prepared, be forewarned, and then, when it happens, be ready for what the feedback's going to be on all the shows the next day. Oh, it was wonderful. Oh, there's definitely going to be something in there about those bad people who don't want to take the jabberoo.
I very much doubt that. They tend not to focus on shit like that in advertisements. They'll just focus on, positive things, because that's kind of the name of the game in advertisement. They're not gonna, talk about people like you, because everyone knows that there are shitbags like you out there. It doesn't matter, though. You're not really relevant outside of the fact that you're endangering yourself and the people around you.
So there'll definitely be something about misinfo and to trust in science and all that. Those are all triggers that they're pushing and pulling. And I'm not saying to believe that or not to believe. I'm not questioning the CDC at all here. I'm just telling you what's going on and what they're doing. So if you
also misunderstands They Live, apparently.
YouTube has a problem with that, they can just listen to my message. I clearly say it right there. All right? So the Super Bowl coming up. Again, the halftime show as well is going to be filled with symbology and all this stuff. The Weeknd is going to be performing. Who knows whether demons are going to pop up.
I know. They won't. Demons aren't real. Demons will not be popping up at the Super Bowl.
If we get like a Lady Barf Bag or one of these other demons to show up. But they'll be there.
Who's Lady... Oh, does he mean Lady Gaga? Does he think Lady Gaga's satanic?
There'll be other surprise demons there. And you'll see pyramids and all the other crap. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, oh man, the world has just gone completely mad. Let's be realistic. Everyone has lost it. And I can't believe, it's been a whole year now since this stuff started, starting February pretty much, that this is continuing on. And people are just like, you know, I'm frustrated. This is what I said in the beginning. People are going to be frustrated, and they were just going to keep beating them down into submission so that they go and get it. And that's what you're seeing now. People are so sick of this.
Call for an uprising. Most people have already gotten vaccines in their life. I've gotten vaccines. The Call for an Uprising probably got vaccines from their parents when they were younger. It's fine. Go get the vaccine. It is so you don't catch a disease. It is not nefarious. It is not Bill Gates microchipping you because people already carry around bricks full of microchips, you idiot. You're just endangering people's health by talking to vulnerable, gullible people that are your fans and telling them that it's nefarious or satanic in some way, which you have no evidence for outside of your ridiculous numerology, spurious symbology bullshit.
That they're just going to be like, all right. And, you know, there's videos up on my website about stuff they're not talking about in the mainstream media that they will not allow on YouTube as well. With, you know, just people who end up getting it and end up, wow, what happens to them a few days later? But you won't hear that in the news. They'll just say it's because of the person's age or something else that had nothing to do with it. And then they'll point a finger and say it's fake news because that's what they do. They deflect.
Something like 20 million doses. Hold on. How many doses of vaccine have been administered or delivered? Sure. I had a thing on my phone about this. There was like a running total at some point. U.S. totals, doses delivered. 41 million doses delivered, okay? If there was going to be some mass side effect, if there was any issue with the vaccine that was a short-term issue, we would have heard about it by now because 41 million doses have already gone out.
That's the media's job. So again, check out the website at callforuprising.com, $2.99 a month. I want to thank everyone who is here on YouTube. I specifically want to thank the patrons. If you aren't one, please consider becoming one. Your help goes a long way. Check out the Teespring store if you haven't. There's great stuff over there. It helps at least spread the word about this channel since they suppress anyone from ever finding my channel anymore, as well as other YouTubers who talk about the same things. So anything, you know, the Teespring stuff helps go a long way as well with just guerrilla marketing in a sense. And it also helps, you know, keep this channel running as well. So thank you guys for all your support and keep your eyes open because the prop is just going to get worse by the day. Thanks again, guys. God bless you and your families.
What is a call for an uprising going to do when we're you know, a year, 2 years, 3 years on from this and, you know, millions? We've already have, again, 41 million doses have already been distributed in the U.S., right? Administered in the U.S. or something like that. So we're already at a stage where tons of people have already gotten the vaccine, and that's only going to continue to increase as time goes on, right? What is a call for an uprising going to do when all this happens? Hundreds of millions of people get this vaccine, and nothing happens. Nothing bad happens, and things go back to normal. Is he going to admit, oh, sorry, I was wrong. I guess that wasn't Satan. I guess it was just medicine. What's he gonna do? He's gonna look like, I mean, he already looks like a jackass, but he'll be demonstrably wrong. And then maybe, you know, years from now, there'll be some other disease that needs a vaccine and it'll start all over again. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's a call for an uprising, being how he is. Oh, he's got a brand new video. Share this info. The New World Order is here, but they told us it was coming.
Call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. This is an important video, so please watch it in full and share. I know sometimes you might think some of the videos aren't that important, which is fair enough, fine. But this is important for everybody to realize about the virtual world order and the conquest and the takeover of virtual reality, which is leading to transhumanism. Now, these videos are hard to do because I have to compile a lot of clips and put them together. So I just want to take my time here to thank the patrons out there who support this channel. It's because of you I can continue to make content, as well as the people who watch the ads and the people who have subscribed to my website at callforunuprising.com. So thank you all so much for your seeing this happen. We've seen what? A rise in virtual world, people working from home virtually, right? The mainstream media coming out and saying, well, this is what it's going to be now. It's going to be, you're going to have your doctor appointments are going to be over the phone via virtual reality or whatever.
It kind of depends on what the appointment is. For instance, I do doctor's appointments for a doctor that's 2.5 hours away for my hormones. Because there's no one closer to me that will do it under my insurance. American healthcare is very stupid. Anyway, those appointments are mostly to check on hormone levels. So, for instance, even after COVID is dealt with, I'll probably do video appointments. I get blood work done at the Quest lab near me, and then they just send it to the doctor's office. It makes sense for me to do video visits for that, right? Because we're not necessarily checking things outside of what are my hormone levels at, because that's what that doctor is for. But, like, no, if you're going to get a checkup, your doctor needs to, like, take your pulse and take your blood pressure and all that stuff, so you'll be doing that in person. They're just trying to mitigate that right now, because COVID is a thing that's dangerous and has killed... What are we at now? Hold on. U.S. COVID deaths. We're at 423,000 deaths from COVID.
FaceTime, right? You can virtual speak to them. Sporting events, instead of having the NCAA tournament, instead of having baseball, we're seeing it turn into a virtual world. We have major networks who cover, specific sports teams. Instead of airing baseball, they're airing simulators of video games. That's exactly what they did with the NCAA. That's exactly what they're doing with...
Are you talking about esports? Is someone showing esports instead of sports?
Other things. So we're seeing Joel Osteen come out talking about virtual mass. That's what they're calling it. Virtual Sunday service for Easter featuring Kanye, featuring Mariah Carey, Tyler Perry. And they're calling it the virtual Easter service. This is all preparation for transhumanism, the blurring of the lines too between what's...
Do you know what transhumanism is? It's not using the internet.
Real and what's not. I've been talking about that since I started my channel, specifically when the whole Pokemon Go thing came out, right? People were playing the video game in an augmented reality. They can't tell what's real and what's not. They're blurring the lines between what's real. And for those of you who aren't...
I remember when I was playing Pokemon Go, I was like, oh boy, I sure do believe Pokemon are actually very real. And it's definitely not a game. I've been tricked into transhumanism. Hooray.
People of faith, believers in Christ, believers in Scripture. This has everything to do with the removal of the veil, the lifting of the veil, and showing what's on the other side. This has everything to do with that and transhumanism. But let me show you how they prepared people. Look at the amount of repetition and predictive programming over the last 20 to 30 years. With speaking of a virtual world, all the way back to things like Nintendo's Virtual Boy to Ready Player Go with Steven Spielberg released recently, where they're showing people...
Ready Player One, which was not recent. That was like 4 years ago. 2017, so that was 4 years ago, yeah. It's not that recent.
People living in an alternate world, a virtual world, pushing this virtual world over and over to blur the lines.
In high demand, but our tech expert, Mike Yanni, joins us from Calgary to talk about how virtual reality, you see him doing it right now, is helping to fill that gap. Don't hurt yourself, Yanni. Good morning.
Mike, is the Hornet there? Is it the Hornet? Oh my gosh.
I'm not swatting bees.
Okay.
I'm not swatting bees. I'm actually working out this morning. You guys, it's unbelievable. I probably have a VR helmet hair right now. It's unbelievable how VR has taken off in self-isolation. People are looking at ways to escape the issues and concerns and just kind of go into a new world. And that's why they're turning to these VR headsets. You guys, these are selling out everywhere. And there's a couple of reasons. One is the cool things you can do. Number two is the price has come way down. They're more affordable. They're actually cheaper than smartphones now. And look at this. This is the Oculus Quest, completely wireless. And I don't need a computer anymore. Cool. Typically, you need a high-power...
Oculus Quests are cool, but I cannot deal with anything that requires, like, a Facebook account to sign in. No, thank you.
Computer to power this. This is an all-in-one unit. Even the audio is in there, and it's about $500. So that's why people are kind of going to these. But here's the question. Can you work out from home using virtual reality? I've seen this trend online. I want to try it out, and I got to show this to you guys. There is a program called Supernatural that I put to the test, and that's what I was doing as you were introducing me this morning.
That's cool.
This is really cool. Bring up the video so you can see this.
Yeah.
You have basically 2 virtual bats in your hands, okay? And these orbs start flying towards you. You swing the bats in the direction of the arrow on the orbs. This gets your heart rate going like you wouldn't believe.
Like
There's
a
also
shittier Beat
crouches
Saber.
that you have to do in lunges. There are triangles that come flying towards you, and you have to, you know, crouch underneath them. Okay, so you can also pair Supernatural with your Apple Watch. My heart rate went up to, and I shouldn't admit this on live TV.
I don't give a shit about this guy talking about VR. We know what VR is. We know it exists.
Music, space. It was 3.5, and I've been.
It's a world of virtual reality, dream and travel.
Heroes all accept.
That's just a trailer for Ready Player One.
Storage capacity.
Is this
I can carry nearly 80 gigs
Johnny
of data.
Mnemonic?
We locked on.
Now.
That's Lawnmower Man.
At the moment, this massive
Stuff about augmented reality.
Water resistant.
Funny about the tools of capitalism.
Right. Okay, so a call for an uprising calls this predictive programming, but it's not. It's just people talking about a thing that exists. Like, virtual reality has been a thing that's existed since the 90s. It was shitty in the 90s, but it existed? People talk about technology that exists. Like, imagine if you were watching an old sitcom from the 80s, and they in this episode, they buy a microwave. I don't know when people bought microwaves, when they became mainstream. And you're like, this is predictive programming. They're trying to get microwaves into people's homes. It's like, no, they're just talking about a newish technology that people are adopting.
A race car.
The Matrix.
Virtual
being into this.
It is so important for people to see why this is dangerous, what they're trying to do with this virtual world, how they're trying to...
What are they trying to do other than sell you an electronic product and an entertainment device? What are they trying to do exactly?
To take people away from one another. And this is about mixing man and machine.
It's not mixing... It's no more mixing man and machine than television is, or a computer, or an iPod, or a radio. It's just a device that you use for entertainment. What are you talking about?
Augmented world, augmented reality. How many videos have I done talking about these, people in other countries who are dating robots and who are living in virtual reality, dating people in virtual worlds? We're seeing this takeover now, and this has everything to do with transhumanism, mixing machine and man, distancing humanity from one another.
I've not had it explained, by the way. Like I have no particular opinion one way or another on transhumanism. For those who don't know, transhumanism is like cyberpunk. It's the idea of mixing humanity with some sort of either electronics or genetic engineering that makes humans more than your typical Homo sapien, right? It's cyberpunk. It's putting implants in your brain that make you see better and think better and smell and hear and, augmenting your ability. That kind of stuff. I don't really care either way. I don't have an issue with it, though. Right? Like, why would I care if someone wanted to, add a prosthesis to themselves that makes them better at a certain thing? That's fine. I don't care. I do not care. It's not some sort of inherently evil thing. I guess a call for an uprising thinks it is. Does he think that people, and someone mentioned this in the chat, does he think people with cochlear implants are evil because they're using an electronic device to aid them in hearing? Does he think if we got something along the lines of like a visor from like Star Trek for Geordi that like could help blind people see, is that evil? Why would you be against this sort of thing?
Exactly what they're doing right now with the social distancing
pacemakers,
and implementing a huge push in a virtual world, getting people prepared for it, getting people comfortable with it. Even if this is the test run, which most of us believe it is. Look how comfortable people who would never be comfortable with working from home, who would never be comfortable doing all this stuff virtually, are now getting situated with it, right? They're getting used to something that sounded so ridiculous 2 months ago about having your doctor's appointment over FaceTime.
2 months ago? It's been a year. What are you talking about? You shouldn't have been going to the doctor in person 2 months ago unless you had COVID and needed treatment.
Now is a normalcy, right? Call your insurance company up and say, why do I have to pay for my health insurance this month if I can't go see the doctor? No, you can, virtually. And if your doctor doesn't do it, we'll send you to another one who does, and they'll call you and virtually speak with you. That's where all this has gone. It is normalizing this for transhumanism. There are so many agendas that are going on right now. This is one of the most important ones as well, and it's taken me a couple weeks to get this video prepared because I had to go through so many clips and piece them together and, of course, avoid any type of copyright. But this is right up there with everything else that's going on, right? Getting the mandatory shot with the altered DNA, with the 5G, to the currency being destroyed, and then the electronic currency, to changing bills and laws where right to bear arms will be removed, and all privacy rights will be taken away, where the government will say we're allowed to follow you because we need to see if you're listening to what Big Brother says. The eventual takedown with martial law, the FEMAs that we're seeing, the FEMA camps, people getting,
You guys are freaking about FEMA camps for 8 years under Obama, and nothing happened. You people never learn.
Quarantine, self-quarantining, social engineering, all of this stuff is happening at once, so many agendas, but this is one of the most important.
I just want 6G to get here already so we can stop hearing these people bitch about 5G, and then all of a sudden 5G won't matter, and then 6G will be the big threat. That'll be fun.
Ones to realize. It's hard to understand transhumanism. It's hard to understand the mixing of man with machine. I get it. People are like, what does that mean? What, I put on the goggles and then I'm just playing a video game. No, they're blurring the lines between reality, what's real, and what's not.
But they're not. They're not. If I play virtual reality, which I haven't in a while, I used to have the PlayStation VR, but I got rid of it when I was, like, desperate for cash, like a year or two ago. I'm fine now. But, like, VR's fun. It's very cool. But it's just that. It's like a game. It's like a game or like an experience. If you're looking at something like Google Street View or something, it's neat. It gives you the scale of things. Like if you want to do that and you want to see like, how big is the Arc de Triomphe in France? And then you can virtually stand there and look at it. And it's very neat. It's very, very cool. But that's what it is. It's a piece of recreational equipment. It's a game. It's a visual auditory experience. That's it. It could be used like anything for good or ill, right? Like, there are wonderful things that television and mass entertainment have brought us, but there's also really terrible things like Fox News, right? So, it's a medium like any other. It's neutral in its presentation until someone uses that tool to make something. The irony, of course, will be that if a call for an uprising continues to exist for another 20 years... and VR becomes more popular, do you think he'll start doing, like, VR videos? Like, I don't know what that would look like, but imagine, like clips and stuff of news, but in VR, and he uses that, and he talks over it. That'd be fun.
To create an augmented reality, distancing humanity from one another, and making machine and man one.
I'll make a 3D stream where it's like you're sitting next to me, watching computer things with me. It'll make me look much less official, and you'll all be even more disappointed in how messy my office is when you can see it in 3D.
And that's what you're seeing go on right now, and we've been prepared for it because they've been telling us about it for look how long. Look at all these clips that I showed you, and that's just a handful of clips. There's probably thousands of more. There's certainly thousands of more movies. The Matrix, you can go on and on and on. So I wanted to make everybody out there aware of it. I hope you'll share this video with people you know, just to get them prepared. There's a specific reason.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of bingo
that
squares
the
once we check this after this
over
video's
and
over.
Alien invasion, right? Preparing people for some type of simulation, Project Bluebeam, perhaps. We see all the stuff with martial law. We've seen all the movies just about what's going on now with an outbreak, over and over and over again. Demonic possession, over and over and over again. It's not because they're original writers or they're remaking The Wizard of Oz for the 50th time. They're remaking Cinderella. These are all MK.
They haven't remade The Wizard of Oz that many times. They've done sequels, but there aren't that many remakes of The Wizard of Oz. Return to Oz in the 80s, which is really good. Oz the Great and Powerful, which sucks, with James Franco. The Wiz. The Wiz is a remake, but it's also based on, I think, a stage production that was The Wiz. Tin Man, but that's, again, also a sequel if you actually watch it. I liked Tin Man, but, you know, The Wiz was painful. What, you don't like Michael Jackson as the Scarecrow? Ease on down the road.
Ultra specific programs, right? Cinderella programming is the easiest to see. This is how they turn girls into the way they end up acting. I'm a princess. This is all done strategically. None of these people are, oh, he went to college and became such a great writer, Steven Spielberg, such a great director. That's what they tell you. These themes of all these movies are the same for a reason, because it's all part of engineering. It's all part of MK Ultra. This is a mind control operation. So they prepared everybody for a virtual world in the 90s. Nobody was like, oh yeah, let's put these goggles. Oh, this is a great, crazy idea. And then movie after movie after movie after movie. Nintendo games, right? Making video games more and more real. Pokemon Go. Literally where your people are walking into...
Wait, do you think Pokemon Go is the most realistic game that exists right now? I can tell a call for an uprising doesn't play video games. If he thinks Pokemon Go is the height of realism in gaming.
Trees, because they're looking at their phone where the tree isn't there and a Pokemon thing is. And they're walking into it. This is the new world that we live in. This is the virtual world order. Let your friends know about it. Be prepared for it. And again, I want to thank everyone out there who's a Patreon. I want to thank those of you who support the channel. And I remind you again to check out my website at callforanuprising.com, $2.99 a month. In case something does happen to this channel, that's where you'll be able to find me. Great forum, great community over there, so check it out. I thank all of you. Keep your eye on what they're doing. Look for the repetition and look at all of the agendas going on at once. It's pretty incredible, and not in a good way. I thank you again for listening. God bless all of you and your families.
However, side point, VR porn exists, and it is wild. So, Baphomet and New World Order, virtual reality porn. I can take a little Baphomet, I think. If anything, I'm into that. Let's mix it. VR Baphomet porn. Yes, please. Okay. That's a call for an uprising for today. Let's take a look at what he put on the bingo card.